Deirdre Murphy. I am a singer, songwriter, musician, dancer, like a moving body person. I've taught yoga for a long time. I taught Acro-Yoga for a long time. I've done a lot of massage, and it's just a list basically of the things that I've done. But I have a long history with the body and somatic experience, and that's where home is, I suppose. I remember when I was 16 or 17 and about to go off to college, and I was like, I will either do dance or I will do law, and I thought, and both of them were sort of from a human rights perspective, if you can believe this, but I thought that like dance had a more, like a chance to make a more visceral impact through art and just like physical communication. So I thought I could make a bigger difference doing that. I would have probably called myself an activist from about the age of like 19 or so. I think that my work has always, like my dance work or my movement work has always had like a big frame around it for myself. So like I've always looked at it as potential commentary on the world. The first big thing I did that I got an Arts Council grant for to do was called Drinking from the Well. And that was like a dance piece that I also wrote the music for. It was my first time writing music, so that was exciting. On pregnancy and childbirth, and essentially like my intention was to make it about like partially about like the horrors of the maternity systems, because I think this so often women are stripped of autonomy and have no ownership over what happens to them, and they have horrible experiences. And it came across as more like the beauty of it and like the miracle and the majesty of it. And then the next major thing that I worked on, which I worked on for a good 10 years, has been a good 10 years now, was Capitalism, the musical. And so that was a circus musical, it is still in fact a circus musical that involves like a lighthearted, like non-dreary, gloomy, gonna die now sort of presentation of the facts. The play opens with the fairy godmothers, who are like these three sort of witchy figures, the three graces, three muses. There's the fairy godmother group within it. There's an emperor group within it. Obviously, I call the Silver Spooners, the SS. And then the superheroes are like the people. And I think that had a really strong visceral impact. So there's me at 16 looking for my visceral impact. The irony is not lost on us. We're still looking for our corporate sponsors. Well, I think actually releasing the album is as big as that was, which has been a lovely process. I released the album Matriotism on Bandcamp last year, and now I'm working with a PR company to bring it into further distribution, which is exciting. So Matriotism, I see, just to say a few words there, like if patriotism is the love of the fatherland, then matriotism must be the love of the motherland, and that would be the planet Earth. So I feel like it is the new political movement. Yeah, the album itself is made of songs that I've written over about the last 12 years. What I'm doing now is quite different. Like these songs are, I think they're very beautiful, and they are poignant, and they're warm, and they have a lot of love in them. And there's not very much rage in that album, like I've got to say. Like I have a lot more rage than would come through in that album. Probably the most or only, is that true? Can't tell yet. Political song on the album is called Reap What You've Sown. And it's looking at the roots of what we're doing and the seeds of what we're doing and how to cultivate a beautiful world, as opposed to being entrenched in this system that we all have very little choice about, So I guess building the world that we want to see within the shell of the world that exists. Like enlightenment isn't the word I want to go for because it's too big of a word. I think it feels unapproachable. But like a sense of freedom, I think, is the transformation of consciousness that has the only chance of like changing the course of the world. Which is actually like, that's the message of Capitalism the musical as well. or like the solution is a transformation of consciousness. And I think it can't really happen other than one person at a time. Like it's freely available to everybody, absolutely everybody, whatever the position you're in, can start working on oneself right now, can start working on making choices that more align with freedom or that more align with feeling good. And I think that there's a lot of the world that needs to burn down. There's a lot of the world that needs to be torn apart or collapse. I was listening to Martha Beck's podcast the other day with the writer Catherine May on it, and she was saying one of the major things that needs to be torn down in the patriarchy and through capitalism right now is this devaluation of care that we have, and like that's one of the big things that needs to burn, because it does not suit us and it does not suit humans. It doesn't suit any part of the world. Like care needs to be of the highest value. Yeah, one of my favorite ideas to while away the time is to think like, what if the aliens came down tomorrow, or if the aliens came down at some point, and like what humans became known for like throughout the galaxies was like the quality of our care for each other. Like wouldn't that be such a beautiful thing to aspire to? Like of all of the races and all of the potential life forms out in the world, if like we became known for like our love or our care, that is what I would like to see. Community. Community is resource, is support, it's spirit. Like the first thing though that leaps to my mind about community is I was evicted twice with my family, and the last time was in 2017, I guess. And at that time, like I've never felt in my whole life like so many people came around to support. Yeah, the landlady did say that she was going to like send men to throw us out onto the street. It was very stressful. But the day of the eviction happened to be the day of like the big snow. There was a huge snowstorm. And it turned out that my neighbor directly across the street that I'd known for years was part of Dublin Central Housing Action. And probably like at least a dozen people sort of tromped up through the snow and like set up camp in his house across the street. And then probably another dozen came to my house and just drank tea all day. And the persons never showed up to actually throw us out, which was really great. And we did end up finding a place not too long after that, thank heavens, where I still am. But yeah, that was an incredible thing for me, because I have tapped into many communities before, and I know a lot of different sectors of community here, but that was the first time, and probably like the only time actually, that like I've really felt that was like I've never really felt love like that, I think, and care. So that was really a very rewarding take home when I got a home to take it to. Any topic. The body is what arises, and I guess it's a recommendation, which is to, the more in touch you can be with your own body, with like this beautiful animal that carries you around, and like the more respectful you can be, I think in the end your quality of life will improve. Like we're here in service to ourselves, and we're here, I suppose, in service to like the bigger picture, and this is our vehicle. This is like our primary collaborator in how we show up in the world. And so attending to it, in my experience, has created the most beautiful experiences of my life, and I would love to share that with as many people as can be reached. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much, Hannah, for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk quickly. Yeah. She gave me coffee. Yeah.